Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit tre.radio.
TRE in the afternoon. Presented by Hannah Murray.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Men Talk. With me in the studio today is Laurie Passman, Paul Myers and Guy Lloyd. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you all for coming in. If you are listening at home and you want to get involved, you can. We won't bite.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95.
What a beautiful day. It's a wonderful life.
Now, I liked starting by talking about food, and there was a few articles on food, which is good. You might think that light dishes would be the order of the day as temperatures hit 35 Celsius. This is in the UK, but pretty much the same here. But in a phenomenon nicknamed feta fatigue, Britons appear to have become fed up with healthy heatwave fodder, such as salads. Surprisingly, many want unseasonal winter warmers, with Waitrose reporting a spike in comfort food purchases. It said that sales of cottage pies were up by 110% in the past 4 weeks, while recipe searches on its website for spaghetti bolognese, toad in the hole and mac and cheese were also up. I don't want to eat stuff like that in the summer, ever. Do you?
Well, I'm not great on salads anyway, I must say.
Oh, really?
No,
I love
my wife will tell you today we had a salad at lunch, and I proceeded to pick out about 50 cubes of cucumber, which I think is the devil's food, actually.
There's not much taste to cucumber, I don't think. I like the crunch of a cucumber.
No, and I know people think it's really cool, but I find it stays with me for days after. So
I think it's just an expression, cool as a cucumber thing. I don't think it's an actual real thing.
Oh, right.
That's very good. But I can't imagine having a cottage pie now. I mean, that's crazy.
Not a cottage pie. I mean, I'm pretty food tolerant. So in terms of cutting food out, I don't really.
No.
But I might draw the line at cottage pie and toad in the hole when it's 35 degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a feeling this is an old article from a cold summer, and Britons are eating winter food because it's so cold outside. I think it's that. I think they've just changed the dates around and said, let's knock this out.
I know.
No one will know.
It's very weird, isn't it? But I definitely eat differently in the summer and the winter, and always have done, and I can't imagine. We have a lot of salads in the summer, like as our evening meal, but the salad will have maybe have potatoes or cheese or tuna or things like that, so it's not just like a bowl of lettuce, so it's not so it is exciting, it's tasty, there's lots of different flavours and different textures and things like that to it, and I can't imagine doing that a lot in the winter. In the winter we would have hotter, bigger wintry dishes.
So it's more the other way around then, that people wouldn't eat summer dishes in the winter, but they might eat winter dishes in the summer.
Well, that's what they're saying, but I would. It just feels too heavy eating that kind of food.
I don't know. I think I might have a slice of pizza with my salad in the summer and have the whole box in the winter.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I would have everything cold as well.
Yes,
you can have things like cold curry for breakfast.
Yes. Oh, for breakfast?
Yeah,
really?
It's been known.
Okay.
It's quite a good hangover cure, so I'm told. I've obviously never had
your
a hangover.
friend said, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I get that. It can be nicer the nice day, can't it, actually? Whether it's takeaway or homemade, the curry, because it kind of, I don't know, all the flavours will
it's like a stew. It's better, it's better the older it gets.
Yeah, definitely.
To a point.
This is an interesting one that's come up before, and I was listening to a podcast the other day when they were talking about this, and they came up with the opposite answer. Different answers in the room. The raging debate over which should be applied first to a scone is jam or cream. It may have been finally resolved. In a nationwide poll, 71% said the first layer should always be jam, which is the Cornish way. 37% of people surveyed claim to have judged someone for doing it the wrong way, which I think is most bizarre.
As long as they're not actually judges, and they're judging them
Yeah, they're not
and
going to
dishing out
prison.
sentences,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
I don't get why people are so passionate about this. But the podcast I was listening to said the opposite, which is what I would do, having the cream first, because the cream is like butter. The cream is dairy, so the cream is a substitute for butter, and then you put the jam on top. That just makes more logical sense to me.
No, I mean,
It's the other way.
they're not the easiest thing to prepare. They're not the nicest thing to prepare. But if you put the cream on first, the jam is difficult to apply except for a blob.
Yeah, a couple of blobs, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. My finger is not often on the pulse of the nation, but I'm with it on this point.
So you're all
first.
jam first, people.
Jam
All
first.
jam first.
Yes.
My finger is deep.
Okay.
On the pulse of the nation.
pulse of the nation, yeah.
But yeah, jam spreads and then cream, you can just chuck it on.
It sort of makes sense how you're saying it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a Dorset way of spreading it. I don't know if anybody listening knows, but apparently I was talking to somebody the other day and said the Dorset way, and I'm thinking there's only two options,
Yeah,
surely.
I'm from Dorset. I don't know about the Dorset way.
Maybe they were lying.
They were making it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cornwall or Devon, isn't it?
Yeah, you think
Cornish
so,
or
yeah.
Devon, yeah. Forget the beach, a 5-star hotel or a nearby theme park. Holidaymakers have revealed the one thing a staycation must have is a pub on the doorstep. A poll of 2,000 adults who have taken a break in the UK found 61% consider a drinking establishment to be essential. When was the last time you holidayed in the UK? No.
Long time ago, but
Couple of years ago,
Okay.
week in Suffolk.
Yeah.
And definitely having a pub within walking distance was,
Yeah, makes a difference.
was essential. Yeah.
What about when you go abroad? There are Irish pubs pretty much everywhere, as you're probably aware. Do you like to frequent an English or an Irish, a traditional pub?
Couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah?
Ditto.
No,
yeah.
it's not something...
I want to sample the local places.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, we might. But it's hilarious. We were on a cruise earlier this year. We were in the Caribbean, and there was two boats, our ship and another ship next by our P&O, and this pile of Brits got off from the other ship, and they just immediately went to find the first British-style pub,
No,
and just all piled in. The guy was delighted, obviously, making a fortune. But I just thought, this is crazy. You just come off
You're
a
in
cruise
the
ship
Caribbean, yeah.
with everything laid on, and when you get ashore, what do? You want to do? You want to pile into the nearest pub.
I bet they put cream on first.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I must admit, we like, wherever we are, we like doing all the local stuff as well. But if we see an Irish pub, we might end up there at the end of the night.
They're not an
after
Irish
dinner and
pub,
things.
though, are they? They just say, we
no.
serve some black drink, and that makes us say, put a shamrock on the wall.
Yeah.
It's like people talk about Disneyland. It's the worst version of an Irish pub. There's no big fights in there, and families of boys sitting around, underage drinking. It's the worst version of a bad version of an Irish pub. Is an Irish pub.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Apart from that, they're great.
No, sometimes they're not very authentic.
Not very.
I'll take that. But sometimes they are. But no, a lot of the time you go in there and there's no Irish people at all. But unlike ones here, there are lots of great Irish pubs here that are very, very authentic. But other places I've been to, not so much. So, yeah, we might have walked in a few actually and kind of... then walked
There's a
back out
violin
again.
on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. But I have been to one in somewhere else in Spain, completely different area, where nobody who worked there was Irish, but they did have some Irish music with Irish people doing Irish. So that was quite... yeah, that would have been good. So no, it's worth seeing how authentic they are. Fair point. Why the UK's Song of the Summer is this timeless rock anthem from 1985. According to Bryan Adams, obviously in his classic rock anthem Summer of 69, this 1985 hit is still going strong, earning the top spot as the greatest summer song of all time in a new poll, despite only reaching number 42 in the charts back in August 1985. Other ones mentioned on the list: Walking on Sunshine, Here Comes the Sun, Club Tropicana, Holiday by Madonna. Any favourite summer songs? Do you kind of change your music playlist throughout the year?
Beach Boys all summer long.
Yeah, Beach Boys, good one.
All summer long, that one. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Mungo Jerry in the summertime.
Okay.
Has a good summer vibe about it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that Bryan Adams only got to number 42. I have a completely false memory. I imagined it as a huge
massive
first time.
Yeah,
around.
exactly. It's weird, isn't it? It just goes to show that it's been, I think, pretty much played on loop every summer since. So we feel like it's obviously been a big hit because we always hear it. It's
Absolutely.
probably one of those, Mandela effect. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
The Mandela effect.
Mandela
when you think
never
something...
recorded any summer
No,
songs.
stop it. When you
But
think
if you
something...
remember him recording summer songs, then that's the Mandela effect.
When you think something's happened and then you look back and it hasn't. We were discussing this the other day. It's called the Mandela effect. There you go. Any other summer songs?
I think they're popular because they're good, feel-good, sing-along songs.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, often you put the radio on today and you'll hear music that you just want to bang your head on the table with. I just don't
Not
get
my
it.
show, obviously.
But that's me showing my age, probably.
I can still remember songs that were playing. The first holiday abroad I had was to Ibiza when I was 19.
Yeah.
And that was 1983. And I can still remember songs that were playing in the clubs. There was New Order, Blue Monday, Freeze, IOU.
Oh, that's a great tune.
Yeah, and that was... so there are soundtracks of the summer depending on what you were doing at a particular time
that's true.
well.
And I love how it can take you back listening to songs. You can remember exactly what you were doing when you first heard it, which is one of the greatest things about music, definitely. I always like listening to upbeat music, though. I don't like listening to ballads and stuff. I feel like that was something I did as a teenager and haven't really done since. You know, sitting in your room listening to ballads all by myself. I'd rather, listen to uplifting music and sing and dance with myself in the car because it's more fun.
I'm not sure anywhere in the highway code it would recommend dancing in the car, particularly if you're driving.
Okay, maybe like bobbing my head as opposed to actual dancing. One more and we'll take a break. A hint of sunshine is usually all it takes to spark a stampede to the seaside, but it seems that young people today are not so keen to enjoy the nation's glorious beaches because they are too sandy. As well as hating the idea of getting sand blown in their face, in their shoes and across their picnic, Gen Z are also left cold at the lack of Wi-Fi and phone chargers.
Oh, excellent. This is where we all shrug and go, God, in my day and young people today.
Yeah, exactly.
We can have one of those.
It's one of those moments, yeah.
This was one girl called Chloe that said this. I'm going to get sandy. This is one girl called Chloe and there's nobody, 3 other people.
You don't think it's a thing?
I don't think it's a thing,
no.
but I think generally there is less movement and socialising in that generation.
Okay.
So moving away from... But there isn't Wi-Fi on the beach, but everybody's got a 3G network, haven't they? A 4G network or a 5G network. Exactly. Somehow you'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
But I think it's one girl called Chloe. She moaned about it a lot.
She wrote to the Daily Mail.
She wrote to Daily Mail. She said, Mum, write me this letter. I don't know how to write.
Yeah. Exactly. She didn't actually write
I'll be in my room.
Yeah. But I have to admit, I have become a little bit... What word shall I use here? Used to... going to the beach and getting a comfy bed to lie on. And recently we went to a public swimming pool in a village where there's just on grass, and there were different shaded areas, but there were no beds or anything, so we were just lying on the grass. I was like, yeah, fine, let's do what the locals do. But there were like ants crawling all over. Stay there long. It wasn't particularly comfortable, and I can't remember the last time I actually laid on a bed, and I wouldn't fancy it, to be honest.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
really?
I do sand every day.
Yeah.
I don't do the sun lounges.
Yeah, no. See, I must admit, I have gone the other way. I would feel. I'm not sure I'd do a Chloe.
Okay, Chloe.
Yeah.
But I might be a bit. Oh, there's sand everywhere.
I draw the line at an ant. I am with you there.
Okay, thank you.
No, I'm with you. I don't like that sensation of the sand, and it doesn't.
I mean, I did it all the time as a kid and stuff, but now I'd rather be a bit comfier.
You can wash it off. There's a big watery thing called the sea.
Yes.
You walk over to it.
I know.
And going in the sea is another whole can of worms.
Oh, no.
Literally.
What's the Wi-Fi like out there?
I went in the sea a couple of weeks ago and it was absolutely freezing, but by the 4th time I did it, it was okay. But it took a while to get used to it. But sandy beach, it makes your face, you're like, ooh. But it does make a difference on a sandy beach, and we went to a nice sandy beach instead of like a the monstrosity of San Pedro Beach, which is you have to wear shoes to go in the.
I'm one of those people who goes in January, so much to the consternation of the locals. But it's usually me and a couple of Norwegians about my age.
What?
Why? You're the guys hitting each other with sticks.
No, it's not the who's the chap who goes into ice pools.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof, that's the chap. No,
So will you do it? Why?
It's nice. I don't particularly feel the cold, and actually, I have a theory that if you go in the winter, the reason it feels cold when you go in the summer is because the air temperature is about 35 degrees.
Yeah.
And the sea temperature will never catch up, so it always feels cold.
Yeah.
If you go in the winter, they're about the same temperature. So for me, it's not as big a shock going in January as sometimes it is in the summer.
That's a logical explanation. I might think about trying it.
and then think about it some more and not do it.
Yeah. No, I love whenever I hear people talking about it, cold water swimming, I'm like, I like the idea of that. And then I'll just kind of put my hand in or put my toe in and be like, no, I don't want to go any further.
Isn't the flaw in that is you don't walk around in swimming trunks in the winter, or do you? Outside. So if it's the same temperature, it's fine, but you usually got a jumper on or some long trousers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good point.
No, I'll generally be in swimming trunks and a t-shirt.
You're the one. Okay.
Yeah, it's me.
I've read about
it's him.
Yeah. It's him and his mates get together to do the rowing. The rowing chart. Try to keep warm.
Absolutely. Right, we better take a break.
Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Men Talk. With me in the studio today is Laurie Passman, Paul Myers and Guy Lloyd. We were just talking about scones. Clearly the subject isn't closed. How do you say it?
Jam first.
No, scone or scone.
But then I might sometimes say scone.
I'm the same. I fluctuate for no apparent reason.
We're fluctuators.
Yeah.
Scone.
Scone. Which
is weird because I'm southern. So you'd think I'd say scone.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm southern, so I say scone.
Scone.
Is it class or region? Isn't it region? Isn't it class?
I don't know. I've discussed this.
I don't know which way round.
With friends, and one's northern and one's southern, and I can't remember which way round they do it. But I think it's the opposite to. Yeah, I don't think there is a kind of north-south categorical thing.
We'll be getting into dinner and lunch and supper next.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I said the other day something I would never normally say. I just said, we had that for our tea last night, and my friend was like, tea? You're not from up north? I was like, I don't know why I said tea.
I've had people say you're not from the north, and it's a working class thing. It's not a north and southern thing. We say tea. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, absolutely. We will come in for your tea.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And it comes from like mid-afternoon tea, because it's like an early dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Parents across the country are bracing themselves for the summer helly days. Whether it's seeing their children lazing about or snacking constantly while on video games, 3/4 of British parents say the summer holidays are the most stressful time of the year. Well, I mean, I've definitely noticed a difference in terms of the amount of people and the amount of families and the amount of kids that are everywhere and traffic. Suddenly, I realised that there was one day to the next where the traffic suddenly went mental, and I found out that the day before was when kids broke up from school. And literally, it's like they all descended, and then suddenly the traffic was crazy. It makes a huge difference here, doesn't it, when the summer holidays are here and suddenly there's loads of people.
For sure. I mean, I feel not having kids. I always felt sorry for parents because of the price, really.
Yeah.
Everything doubled in price. I remember my sister, who brought up 2 kids, they would book a year in advance and it still cost an arm and a leg. Because as soon as it got to that 3rd week in July, I never went, obviously, at that time, and it was always much cheaper for me. So the hell bit is the expense for me.
Yeah, definitely. Makes a big difference. I saw this today, which I thought was an interesting one. Girl Guides are getting their first major uniform redesign in 36 years with a more casual dress code to boost inclusiveness. From today, a branded top will replace the full outfit, allowing guides, brownies and rainbows to team it with their own clothes. The the top focus on affordability and eco-friendliness, with the move all about providing girls with freedom to express themselves. They must wear a branded T-shirt, long sleeve top or hoodie, but then can wear what they want, trousers, skirt.
It's the big issue of the day. Just above the Iran war, it's the big issue of the day. But
it's serious stuff.
But yeah, clothes change, don't they? Practicality and new fabrics, and kids don't want to wear like this apron thing. If it's still the apron, then why would they want to go? I want to go to Girl Guide so I can dress up like in the 1950s.
I know, it's really old fashioned, and it's brown. The brownies one, it was a brown dress. It was horrible.
I think the most significant move is it gets a military.
Yes.
Yeah.
Effect that it had.
Yes.
With, epaulets and cuffs and
handcuffs,
badges.
So
grenades.
Now it is indeed very, very much up with the times and much more comfortable and wearable for.
Yeah.
You look good in
kids. Yeah. Brown's not my colour.
No. Be better if it's blue.
Do you still have to sew the badges on? That was always the bane of my mum's life. If I got a badge from the Cubs, it was having to sew it on.
Well,
I
at
don't
least
know.
your
I
mum
thought
could probably sew. I don't think the kids today could sew. So
no, that's true.
They'd have to get their sewing badge.
Maybe there's
first.
like a book or something, because I thought that. What about the badges? Whether you'd have badges on a T-shirt or a top?
They're probably Velcro or something.
Or you could iron them on or something.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. They'll make it easier, won't they?
Look at us judging the guides.
Yeah.
The soaring number of pupils bunking off school may be closely linked to online bullying. Youngsters, parents and schools say the well-being of pupils is a major factor behind rising absence rates since the pandemic. This is a serious one. Going back to childhood, thinking about bullying, trying to think the best way of dealing with a bully, either as the person who's being bullied or maybe as a parent, what to do, what not to do. Any experiences you'd like to share or comments on the subject?
I think for me the difference is, let's say when I was at school, there were one or two people you knew you had to kind of be careful with or avoid. They were the recognised bullies. Now I feel it's more of a faceless feeling of pressure that is exerted on children. They feel pressure on the way they look, the things they say, the friends they keep, and it's more of a group pressure on them. So the anxiety is often not very far away, and it's a form of bullying and uneasiness that they struggle to deal with. I can understand why.
I think that's a good point. I think in our day, bullying was something where once you were out of school, you were kind of home free, and as you said, you knew the couple of kids to avoid or to sort of try and curry favour with. But now it's online bullying and you can't escape that. It's there 24 hours a day. Yeah,
it must be really, really difficult for both the kids and the parents with the online bullying. As you say, you're not going home from school and that's it. It can be constant.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of cliche was always you stand up to a bully, which again is fine. Maybe not always super advice physically. Yeah. But because it can turn out the wrong way. But it's very difficult to do that online, particularly with a herd mentality if there are so many people who are piling on.
And 24 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly that.
So staying home to avoid bullying, I'm not sure that makes entire sense in an online world.
No, exactly.
No, indeed.
There's probably more hurtful bullying anywhere in your pocket.
And I'm not sure that the teachers, the educational establishments are really well geared up to handle it. It's a very difficult thing to handle. It's not so, let's say, physically obvious what bullying is going on and who's causing it.
They'll have no idea.
Yeah, no, they won't. And people are often scared to speak out. Either the kids who are being bullied might be frightened to tell their parents or the teachers. And then if they do tell the parents don't know what to do either, because they often want to go to the school and do something about it. And the kids are like, no, don't say anything, you'll make it worse. And it's very difficult to know the right way to handle the situation, I think.
And if it's out of school, is it necessarily a school problem, or is it a wider social problem? Who deals with that?
Yeah, exactly. Very difficult. Okay, one more and we'll take another break. Nearly 2/3 of adults spend worrying about money. God, that's quite a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, I just wondered whether you worried about money, whether it's something you used to do, you don't do so much now, how often you think about it, whether you feel it's, I don't know. Just thought it was an interesting discussion point.
I think the weird thing for me was when I was younger, I never worried about it because you just lived a hand-to-mouth existence.
Yeah.
You lived from paycheck to paycheck and you paid the rent and you budgeted. And there was never any money at the end of the week or at the end of the month, so you didn't worry.
Nobody worried about it.
You didn't worry about it. I think when you're in a position where you're perhaps earning more and you have bigger financial responsibilities, the thought of what happens when things can go wrong, as in you can lose your house or you can lose something that you've built, you've spent 20 years or more working towards, that I can see how that would prey on people's minds. And it can happen quickly. A change of circumstance, you lose your job, you're unlucky, you're ill, and suddenly circumstances can change very quickly.
Yeah, it's all changed, isn't it? I mean, I had a discussion the other week with my son about credit rating or credit score, because I said to him, what is this and how does it work? Because I'm of the generation where we never had to worry about a credit score. You went to see your bank manager or organised a mortgage or whatever. You didn't have to worry about it. And that just is symptomatic of how you have to go through hoops to get access to money. So it puts a lot of extra pressure on you if you're not dealing with it, directly head on.
Yeah.
And the way that money disappears now is also pretty uncontrolled. It used to be you'd spend. Now there's people getting into trouble with, online subscriptions for things. Yeah. That, you think you make the wrong click and suddenly you're into €40 a month or whatever for something. And it's unbelievable how many ways money can be effectively grabbed from you. And cause problems ultimately. So it is difficult. There's many more ways now where you can get it.
And with the cost of living rising, a lot of people's rents have gone up, autonomo fees gone up, all their monthly outgoings kind of gone up, but most people's wages haven't gone up in order to compensate that. And it's, I think, becoming really difficult for a lot of people in all different brackets of earning, having to keep an eye on what's coming in each month and what's going out each month and trying to navigate it all. I think it's very tricky.
That's true. And it's always been a truism that to be poor is the most expensive way to live.
Interesting.
Because you never get such advantageous deals on even things like energy bills. From the old days, putting 50p in the meter was by far the most expensive way of doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had the money to pay monthly, you always got a cheaper rate.
Yeah.
It's always more expensive being poor.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, we better take a break.
Hannah Murray, TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Men Talk with Laurie Passman, Paul Myers and Guy Lloyd. There's an article here which I admit I thought was really interesting, that it was a man that was talking about it, because I would expect it more to be a woman. I don't know if that's sexist. I'll tell you the subject. It's all about haggling on the high street. It is a guy that goes into high street shops, Boots, M&S, Tesco, things like that, and haggles, not with anything, obviously. If there are things that have got dents, so he went into Tesco's and there were tins that had dents in them, so he went up and he said, "Can I get a discount because there's dents in them?" All kinds of things like that. Or going into a shop, and if there's something wrong with the stitching, asking for a discount, all that kind of stuff. And he gets loads of money off. So the whole article is talking about how much money he saves by haggling in various shops. I just wondered if it's something that you've ever done.
Not on the high street, no, not if there's a fixed retail price. And I remember my first job, which dates me, was working for Our Price Records.
Yeah.
And I worked in various chains in London, and one of them was in Bayswater, which was quite an Arabic area. And got very used to Arab customers coming in, and there were big stickers all over, $5.99, $4.99, and they come in and say, "I'll give you £1," and you had to explain that it didn't work like that. It was a kind of reverse Monty Python. We can't haggle. It's not built into the system.
No.
But I must admit, I do it for things like insurance. I will always phone up and ask for a better quote every year, and I'll change the company. So I'll haggle on annual stuff, just not retail stuff.
Okay. Interesting. I know I have done with when I've seen something where the stitching's coming away or something like that. If I've bought clothing and I can see that there's a stitching issue, then I'll always say, this is coming apart, I'm going to have to fix that myself. And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So it depends how much I want the garment as to whether I'll still buy it or not.
I think you are entitled to have the product as advertised, and so any kind of damage, miscolouring, manufacturing fault, you should be able to legitimately ask for some sort of discount.
Yeah.
I agree, though. I think it is sometimes a very British thing. We tend not to do it. I've worked in a number of shops in the UK over the years when I was a student and so forth, and I was always shocked by the number of visitors that would come forward and say, "Yes, I want a discount. I'll offer you, 10%, 20% less," and you'd have to explain we don't do that in the UK. But, it's interesting. It would actually make life a lot more interesting, I think, if people were prepared to do it a bit more. Yeah. Because half the fun in that is the haggling.
I suppose it would be very difficult to police, wouldn't it? If you're going to a small shop and the owner is running the shop, then it's up to them what they discount. But when you've got a big store and you're employing students, you can't expect the students to make decisions on how much they're going to pay.
No, I'm sure the Saturday shop worker is empowered to make those sort of calls.
Realistically, modern point of sale systems and stock counting systems won't let you do that.
No.
So if you try and do it in Tesco's, it's very, very difficult. Where you can get away with it would be a Starbucks or a Pret a Manger and say, "I want a large one, but I want to pay you for a medium." And there was a little movement in the US.
Why would they do that?
Just with where I would go with this, there was a movement. So it was like negotiating skills. See how many times you can do it and get away with it. And people were doing it and then trying it and like scoring up and say every single time I've got an extra. And so rather than negotiate a price down, negotiate for more product, because that's easier for something which is more of an intangible like coffee or food and things they're going to throw away to get away with it. I sell things. I sell electric bikes, and we always sell out, and we do a lot on pre-order. And I reckon probably everyone asks us for a discount, and I politely tell them to F off or come back on Thursday when this one will be sold at full price, and then tell me.
So you never do a discount?
Never discount. Refuse to discount.
Why?
Because we're going to sell them at full price. And some strangers, we have strangers come to us and say, "Can you give me, I want £800 off." So I will say to them, that's my weekly wages. Basically, you're saying you want me to be your slave for a week. And you see their faces change when you reframe it and say, you're really taking the mickey there by asking, a small business for this discount. You wouldn't walk into Halfords and say that. So most people don't do it, but there are things where you can do it. And of course, the online stuff, if it's your subscription, you famously call cancellations and say, I want to cancel. Why? It costs too much money. Oh, we can put you on a new customer thing here for 80% less. Okay. Oh, thanks. I never thought of that.
Yeah, always worth doing. Definitely. I need to do that more. That's reminded me of that. They say a woman's work is never done, and now a survey has revealed that females crave around 2 hours of me time to get through the day. However, they usually cannot get it due to always their partners and endless household chores. We discussed this on Women Talk last week, but I wanted to say...
Is this from the 1950s or something? Is this a time warp?
It was really... but I wanted to save it because I thought it would be interesting to ask the men about me time. Is it something that you think of? Do you value time on your own, not necessarily away from kids and housework, but just me time, being on your own? Is it something bored. You think about?
No, just get bored.
No?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a very good idea. Thanks for the suggestion. Next time I'm off to play golf, I'll say, I'm just giving you some of your me time.
This is the real thing.
You'll give her me time so you can go off and do something else.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think me time is healthy.
Yeah?
I think it's unreasonable to expect your partner to have exactly the same interests as you. I mean, presumably you're with your wife or partner because your tastes coincide and you like to share a lot of things, but it doesn't mean you have to share everything.
Yeah. We experienced something last weekend. We went away for a couple of nights and we spent one night at this retreat place that was completely secluded, and so it was really quiet, and we couldn't believe, because we like to talk and listen to music and stuff, but there was no signal for the phones really,
Chloe.
No TV or anything. And we were quiet for ages. It was hours before I said, shall I put some music on? And we didn't talk much either. We talk day to day, so it's not like we were like, oh, now we can talk, because we're always talking. And we were just quiet. And it was days after I discussed this on Women Talk, and we discussed what me time meant to different people. For some people, it was getting out of the house. For me, it just used to be doing something on my own. But there would always be some kind of stimulation, like reading a book, watching television, playing a game on my phone, whatever. But I'd be on my own, and that was me time. But in this situation, we were quiet. And I was like, is that what relaxation is? We weren't actually doing anything at all. And it was really weird, but really nice. We were literally just listening to the birds and were quiet.
It's like sleeping, but being awake at the same time.
Yeah. It felt like real relaxation. It felt like quite a moment.
Are you on that tea again?
No. But it made me wonder how much or how little most people do that. Are actually completely, whether you've got someone near you or not, but you're just completely quiet and you're just listening to nature or watching nature. I was watching these wasps having a fight and just being quiet.
Yeah, I think in other cultures you'll find that is more of a feature. And
yeah.
I think it is a pretty healthy thing to do if you can. A bit of me time plus a bit of quiet meditation sort of time. I think is pretty healthy.
And a good definition of whether you're compatible with your partner. It's if you can be in the same room or the same
quiet,
space,
and it's not awkward.
Neither
or
of you
weird.
needs to say anything.
Yeah. I thought that because we didn't feel the need to fill any awkward silences. It was just.
Yeah, perfect.
Really nice. Made me question whether I've ever really read because as I say, there's normally something else going on. I find it relaxing, lying in bed watching telly or reading a book or whatever on my own. I class that as me time, but this was like another level. One more and we'll take the last break. Holidaymakers are again, this was for the women, and I feel like I know the answer already, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Holidaymakers are splashing out £158 on glow-ups to look their best on the beach. More than 4 in 5 women say they'd give themselves a makeover, and 3/4 of men said they would groom themselves for their holiday. Hair colouring, facials, manicures, pedicures. So before you go away on holiday, do you think about, things you need to do to self-groom?
No. No, next question.
No, move on.
Yeah.
Yes, why not?
Okay, thank you, Laurie. Yay! Well done, Laurie. Go on.
Not? Well, I may have a haircut.
You'd have a haircut. Okay, but well done.
That's more maintenance, though, isn't it? That's not...
Hedge trimming.
A haircut. Okay. Well, you joined in a little bit.
No, I must admit, I contemplated once when we were going to go away and we would be baring our bodies on a deck somewhere, and I thought, I'm looking particularly pale. Should I go for the old spray tan first?
Okay.
But I resisted that temptation.
But you thought about it.
I did think about it momentarily.
Okay. Oh, well done.
Hannah Murray, TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the last part of today's Men Talk with Laurie Passman, Paul Myers and Guy Lloyd. This is the headline. I'm spending the kids' inheritance on luxury holidays with my friends. It's my money. I'll enjoy it. So how do we feel about inheritance? Either thinking about it from the point of view of your own parents, how you felt as and when that situation may or may not have risen, or if you have kids, the thought of how much you feel like you're supposed to leave to them or not. Because everyone has very different views on this. What are yours?
I don't think you're obliged to leave anything.
No.
I mean, I remember my parents, who haven't been with us for them, blowing their money on holidays. It was how are we going to care for them in their old age, and they went into residences and that sort of thing. And my sister and I never thought of that we would inherit anything. It was always what they need, they will get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think the older generation should feel obliged to squirrel anything away as an inheritance.
No, I don't either, and I think it's gross that youngsters expect that. I think it's, if that's the right word, I just think it's horrible that when I hear people talking about, we're getting this inheritance and I'm entitled to this and all that kind of stuff.
You're not entitled to something you haven't worked for. No,
exactly. Being entitled to their parents' or their grandparents' money, it doesn't have a nice kind of feel to it, does it, really?
It's strange, though, because my father, who's still going, 94, God bless him, he still has this feeling, I have to make sure that I'm leaving something for everybody. We've discussed it many times, and I've said, no, Dad, no, it's really not necessary. None of your surviving family need anything. Just go and blow it, enjoy it, have a good time, do what you need to do, and do it. But clearly has that inbuilt feeling that he really should leave something. Because I don't feel the same way at all. I think you want to help them out when they need it, but you don't need to be leaving stuff further way into the future. They will surely make their own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I come from a long line of non-inheritors. I don't know if anyone in my family has ever inherited anything.
Yeah.
But I've got no one really to leave it to, except siblings, perhaps. But I'll make sure I spend everything.
Yes.
Good for you.
Good man.
I took the risk. I did the sweating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
What do they need it for? They're only going to spend it on
themselves.
Jam.
Yeah. Spend it on you.
Scones. Yeah, I just find it...
family tradition.
Yeah. I just think it's weird when people expect it and kind of have discussions between siblings. I mean, I know it's a common thing, sadly, for siblings to fall out to do with money when parents die. And, he got this, but I wanted this. All those kind of discussions. It really makes... I'm an only child, so thankfully I won't have those kind of discussions. But, I think it's really distasteful.
It makes it very difficult. It can become difficult if it becomes a legal issue.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of that, and it's not nice because it was never intended to be that way.
No.
But it can be quite nasty. And of course, I'm still waiting. I'd like to see the tax man come round and personally thank us for leaving money, because they do the best out of it.
Inheritance tax really should be illegal.
Yeah,
I don't get that. So
it's
really
horrendous, isn't it?
You're grieving, and suddenly you're saying, "Well, we've got to get rid of this in order to pay this bill."
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's really awful.
Yeah, but who's going to argue it?
Yeah, and it's so much.
Yeah.
It's like not like a little bit. It's loads.
Yeah,
it's really hot. Yeah, not nice at all. Whilst we're on that subject, moving on nicely, human composting is gaining momentum.
I had one before we came out.
Some countries are seriously exploring terramation, turning human remains into soil instead of burial or cremation. So my question to you, with 5 minutes to go, is what would you want to be done with your ashes?
Composted.
Composted.
I've just heard about it. It's great.
Sounds good.
I'm all about it.
You like the idea
ask me
of it?
something different.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seconded.
You like the idea of composting?
I like the idea of doing some good after my death. And
I eat a lot of tomatoes. Do you think I would help tomatoes by giving back?
Maybe.
I think you could make a closed loop with tomatoes.
I think,
that would be perfect.
I think it's a good idea.
I was just wondering if you go to the garden centre in years to come, will there be a bag saying, John Smith was here?
With a face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In memoriam.
Face of tomatoes.
Yeah.
It could
be. You'd be useless on cucumber. Your remains would just kill cucumbers.
I'll kill them, yeah.
Oh, dear. But taking composting aside... but burial or cremation, this must be something that you would have thought about.
Cremation.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah,
cremation, no lasting memorial, nothing.
It's interesting. It's become a lot more popular in recent years.
You take up space, it costs a fortune, people got to tend for it. What's the point?
Yeah, and I think with cremation, I mean, some people, some religions think that all the ashes should be kept together, but I like the idea of spreading ashes all over the place so you can feel like your loved ones are in different places, if that's what you want to do.
You're not allowed to do that in a lot of places.
No, well, obviously only in legal places, of course.
Yeah, it's in the same at the sea.
I don't mean Spain, I mean in the world.
No, I know some football teams, if the fans have asked for their relatives' ashes to be scattered, they don't scatter them on the pitch anymore because there's just too many of them.
Right.
So they've got a little space maybe behind the goal that they tip the ashes into.
Okay.
A special
big ashtray.
Yeah, well, exactly that. Yeah, it is.
An ashtray.
An ashtray off the pitch so that you're not... The groundsman isn't forever churning ash every time he goes to treat the pitch.
Exactly.
I was in Kathmandu many years ago, and there were burials on the side of the river there, and the people in the family with their eldest son would start the fire, and it was his father, and then they'd float them out into the river where their remains would then be cleared up further downriver, I believe in India, where there's one place where they half-charred bodies then meet and are dragged out again. There's some Australian guys on the tour, and he said, what a great day today, because I said, I really like, you did the same as us, didn't you? Because I'm thinking, I went and saw other people having a funeral, and it wasn't a great day, it was sort of quite moving. He went, yeah, human sacrifices, never seen that before. And I thought, you really shouldn't be travelling. You really should not be travelling.
He's not an argument for travel broadens the mind, is it?
Absolutely. It might have been his first trip away, but yeah, it was. How do you explain this to him?
Oh goodness, yeah. They do it differently there, don't they? It's very, very. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd like to see that.
They deal with it better though.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're dealing with the corpse for a lot longer period. They wash it, the corpse, they sit with the corpse, they talk to it, setting fire, and they set fire at the mouth.
Oh no, I couldn't do that.
Which is pretty difficult, and you think, that's a tough job, but the eldest son will do that.
How could you do that to your own parent?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that at all.
But I guess if you've seen it done 100 times before and it's time to step up.
Oh yeah, as part of your culture, it just is what it is. It's just, it's not for us, so it's really hard to imagine. Apologies if you're having your scone and afternoon tea.
Well, I do think it is all about cultural difference, and that some cultures aren't squeamish about death. They just accept it as part of life.
Yeah, exactly. There were so many different ways of doing it. Even the wake that they do in Ireland, and where people will come and see the body and pay their respects, and it can go on for days, can't it? Things like that.
Yeah, that's true. And the whole argument about open casket and closed casket.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one. Okay, we have a minute left, so there's no point moving on to the next subject. Any more on death?
It's quite fashionable. Everyone's doing it. It could catch on.
Yeah, only two things certain in life: death and taxes.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you all very much for coming in today. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Guy. All very much.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this programme, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit tre.radio.